So I want to start by saying that, and we were just talking about this, that often our residents and our veterans in particular don't understand and don't know how bipartisan the support for veterans has been in this General Assembly for well over a decade. So I want to thank you all for that. Earlier this week, we observed Veterans Day. We came together as a nation to honor the courage, sacrifice, and service of the men and women who have answered the call to defend our freedoms. Veterans Day is a day to reflect on the profound debt of gratitude we owe them, those who have left behind families, their homes, their civilian lives to protect the values we hold dear. Yet, as we pause to honor their service, we must also confront an uncomfortable truth. Our veterans face an ongoing crisis when they return home from duty, especially after combat deployments. The transition from the battlefield to civilian life can be incredibly difficult, and for many veterans, the challenges they face do not simply end when they leave military service. Far too often, veterans struggle with deep psychological wounds that don't heal quickly or easily. Combat stress, depression, post-traumatic stress, and the trauma of witnessing or experiencing violence can leave lasting scars. For many, these wounds can manifest in a variety of ways: difficulty concentrating, flashbacks, nightmares, feelings of hopelessness, and a constant sense of emotional numbness. In some cases, these struggles can lead to dangerous behaviors. Veterans may turn to alcohol or drugs to numb their pain, or find themselves engaging in high-risk behaviors in a search of that adrenaline rush experienced in combat. They may feel disconnected from family, friends, and communities they once knew. Sleep disturbances, insomnia, nightmares, all can leave veterans exhausted and isolated. And tragically, many veterans, especially those suffering from post-traumatic stress or severe depression, are at a heightened risk of suicide. Recent data show that as many as 44 veterans die every day from suicide, overdose, other forms of self-harm. This is a national tragedy of staggering proportions. As a retired colonel of the U.S. Air Force, I've seen this crisis unfold firsthand. I have witnessed the toll combat takes on our service members, and I have known too many veterans whose struggles with mental health became so overwhelming they saw no other way out but to take their own lives. These veterans served honorably, sacrificing so much for their country, and they deserve our unwavering commitment to their well-being once they return home. We cannot and must not turn our backs on them. The mental health crisis facing our veterans and our larger society is a problem that demands immediate and sustained attention. Too many veterans are falling through the cracks of an overburdened system or simply not getting the help that they need in a timely manner. While some veterans are fortunate enough to receive care that helps them adjust and heal, others face long waiting periods of treatment or find that the therapies available to them are inadequate to address their complex needs. We must ask ourselves why, after all they've done for us, we are allowing so many of our nation's heroes to struggle in silence without the support they deserve. The mental health challenges veterans face are not just temporary issues. For far too many, they're long-term, life-altering conditions that require ongoing, comprehensive care. Post-traumatic stress is not something that simply goes away with time. It is a disorder that demands attention, understanding, and treatment. Similarly, depression and anxiety can linger long after a veteran returns home. And while traditional treatments such as talk therapy and medication can help, they do not always work for everyone, especially when the trauma is deeply ingrained. We must be open to exploring new and innovative approaches to care. The scope of this crisis demands that we take bold and decisive action. I'm asking that everyone in this chamber work together, put aside partisan differences, and develop real, meaningful solutions. We must also commit to being proactive. Prevention is just as important as treatment, and we need to invest in programs that help veterans build stable, meaningful lives once they return home. Our veterans have already given us so much. They have fought for our freedom, often at great personal cost. It is time for us to return that commitment to ensure that they receive the care, respect, and support they deserve. The mental health crisis facing our veterans is a challenge we cannot afford to ignore and is one we must address together as a nation. 44 veteran deaths per day is 44 too many. Moving forward, as we recognize our veterans every November, let us honor them not just with words, but with meaningful action. Let's do our part to ensure that no veteran ever feels abandoned or forgotten. We owe them that. And I know that often in this chamber, we look to other blue states for ideas. I noticed that just yesterday, New Jersey announced a $30 million public-private partnership to end veteran homelessness. So maybe we all could take a look at that and find a possible path for something to deal with homelessness as well in Illinois. Thank you.